What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be talking about why you can't throw far as a quarterback. So we're going to talk about all of the bad habits that lead to a decrease in arm strength as a quarterback, and then we're going to give you some tips and drills to fix all of those bad habits. So I hope this video is able to help you out. Let's get started. So the first problem, guys, that I'll see so many quarterbacks have when they're trying to throw with velocity, when they're trying to throw deep, is that their back knee in their throwing base, when they try to sit down for power, starts to cave inward. So the issue is that when your knee, some people might call that like a knee valgus, I want to say is like the technical term for it. I try to keep it simple for you guys. So the knee caving inward, so almost towards the ground, and you have this 45-degree shin angle towards the floor, causes your back foot to be a little bit outside of your shoulder frame. Now, anybody that knows anything about quarterback, anybody that knows anything about rotational athletes, our rotation, our power comes from our hips, but our hips also have to be able to fire through before our shoulders, creating a whipping effect called torque. So how are we able to achieve that as a quarterback? So I'm going to break down what a good throwing sequence should look like, and then I'm going to talk about why the knee cave doesn't allow us to do that, because I know a lot of you watching this video have that problem, either due to a lack of ankle strength and ankle stability, or just glute and hamstring strength that allows you to sit down in your base without your shin caving in, and you can keep your shins straight. So what's a good throwing sequence? So you think of throwing a football, it's a lot like hitting a baseball, you guys. It's really kind of the same kinetic chain of events. So if I'm trying to throw here towards the camera, I want to be in a position first and foremost called being stacked. You want your head, you want your knee, and you want your foot stacked on top of each other. That's actually a baseball phrase. They tell hitters to be there, so when they step to the pitcher, if they stay stacked as they step to the pitcher, their right foot is underneath them, and guess what happens? They squish the bug, their hips fire through, and the bat trails behind, causing torque, a whipping effect, which increases bat speed, which makes the ball jump off the bat more. Rotational athletes all generate power the same way, from torque, and more so specifically upper body and lower body dissociation, which means separation. So as a quarterback, how do we get there? So you got to get stacked. You want to be nice and light on your front foot. I say 60-40. Some guys say 70-30. I don't like the 50-50. I prefer 60-40. Nice and light on your front foot. So what you want to do is you want to take a step to the receiver, but you stay stacked. You try to keep your knee. I say pretend there's a flashlight on your knee, flashlight on your hip, and you want to point it towards the sideline. And when you do that, you start your backstroke, which is where you push the ball back with your front hand and you slightly rotate your front shoulder back. So now this is like my baseball bat. I'm back, my shoulders are closed, foot's down, now my back foot's under me. What do? I rotate to have my hip fire through before the shoulder and the ball. They call that chasing the hip, and that whipping effect right there is how we get power, fellas. So what is the knee cave cause that doesn't allow us to get there? So think about my base, right? If your knee is caved inward, let's say you're sitting down and trying to get power, knees caved inward, you're not stacked, number one. And when your knee is caving this way, your body weight is shifted forward. It's hard to be back on my back leg with my knee caved. I can't balance on one foot. If my shin is straight and my knee is straight, I could balance on one foot. That's a good test to see if you have that problem. If you could balance on one foot and then get to your throwing stance, you're in a good base. If you can't, then you're not in a good throwing base. So when you're caved, a lot of your weight's forward. So guess what happens? You take a step to the target, but because your weight's already forward and your foot's outside your frame, guess what you can't do? You can't dissociate. You can't rotate your shoulders back. So what ends up happening is that when you're caved here, you step, shoulders can't go back, foot is way behind you, and your elbow and your shoulder go ahead of your hip. And that's what causes a lot of elbow pain, shoulder pain in quarterbacks, and just a decrease in velocity. So how do we fix this problem, you guys? Same thing I tell my quarterbacks all the time. Stand up. Your power does not come from bending your knees. Your power comes from your glutes, your hamstrings, your hips, and your core. But you can't rotate with your core and your hips if you're not tall in your base. You can't let your knees be past your toes or caved inward. So if you have this problem, guys, stand up. Try to keep your shins straight, shift yourself back, try to be a skyscraper, head, knee, and foot, or a skyscraper, straight up and down. If you can balance on one foot, you're doing it right. Now, when you're up tall, guess what could happen? I could stay back, I could rotate my shoulders back, and I could rotate through. Use your height, guys. Even if you're a short quarterback, you have to use your height. So standing up taller can actually correct that knee cave issue without having to get your ankles stronger, your glutes, your hamstrings stronger. You should still be doing that because a lot of quarterbacks struggle with that, but just standing taller in your base can correct a lot of flaws that you'll have with that back leg. Now, fellas, before we get into some more reasons why you can't throw far and get into some drills that are going to help you with your arm strength, if you're a quarterback or even a wide receiver watching this video and you would like to train with myself and my staff of coaches, we are going to be traveling out to 8 more more states across the entire U.S. this offseason for 2-day-long QB and wide receiver training camp. So guys, go to that very first link in the description below if you would like to sign up. We're going to be coming out next to Chicago, Illinois. They'll be heading out to Birmingham, Alabama, Newark, New Jersey, Houston, Texas, Boston, Massachusetts, Columbus, Ohio, Boise, Idaho, and finishing off our camp tour in Los Angeles, California. So guys, want some more information, want to learn how you can sign up, please go to that very first link in the description below. That's where all of our locations will be at. All of our locations are final, and that's where you could ultimately sign up. All of our camps, though, you guys, probably by the beginning of April will be completely sold out. We only have about 3 to 4 spots left in each camp, so make sure you take advantage of that if you guys would like to attend. We limit spots. We don't accept everybody just simply because we want to work with each athlete individually, and that's how you get better from individualized coaching. So guys, go to that very first link in the description below. We'd love to have you out there. Now, fellas, the next mistake that will limit a quarterback's arm strength is going to be them pushing forward when they are in their like stacked base, if you will. So like, let's say for example, I'm in that perfect base where I can stand on one foot, I'm 60-40, I'm nice and light on my front foot, nice and stacked, nice and tall, right? So a lot of QBs, when they get to this point, instead of just striding and keeping their weight back, what they end up doing is they naturally cave their knee on the foot strike. So now you're right back to that bad base position that we talked about earlier in this video. So you want to be stacked like this, you want to take a stride, but you don't want that knee to move. You want to step, then you want to rotate and transfer your weight. You don't want to transfer your weight to create the stride, because when you do that and all your weight shifts forward, guess what happens now? I can't rotate my shoulders back, now my back foot's outside my frame, and I'm just all upper half, and my elbow and shoulder are beating my hip. So what's a way that we could fix that? And the way we fix that is with a drill called a no stride drill. This is a drill I'll do with my quarterbacks literally every single training session. So we'll show how this should look full speed in a sec. I recommend doing anywhere from like 12 to 15 throws of this. If you like this drill and it's coming off your hand, you could literally just warm up like this. That's how good of a drill it is. But essentially what it is you put yourself in that perfect throwing sequence position. So you're gonna stand facing the target, front foot's gonna be open. Already open, like you've already stepped to the target. Weight's gonna be loaded onto your back leg, your back foot's gonna be underneath your armpit, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with my shoulders already back like so. This is a perfect position to be in. This is where we wanna get in a regular throw. I stride, I stay back, and my shoulders go back. So we're just putting myself there. So your foot's open, shoulders are already back, and all you're gonna do is just have your hips rotate the upper half through. You can pivot your back foot, you could drag your back foot. Just don't do this one on me, where you swing your back foot through. Let's try to rotate and bring my knee to my front knee, but the front foot doesn't move. You're putting yourself in that perfect throwing sequence position. So I'm gonna show you how that should look full speed. Easy drill to fix that push forward, because we're just eliminating the chance to be able to do that. So I'm gonna show you how this drill should look full speed. Now, fellas, the next mistake that QBs will make that doesn't allow them to throw far, it's the reason why a lot of QBs will lock out on their like deeper throws with their legs, it's because they take a very long stride. So like we talked about in the last clip, like if you're here and your weight's back and you're in a perfect base, but you push everything forward, you can still take a short stride, but if you're pushing all your weight forward too early, you're not gonna get to that dissociation position where we could generate torque. So a lot of guys try to get there, they try to stay back, but this front foot just takes forever to get down. So when it does get down, that naturally brings them back to that knee cave position where their feet are outside their shoulder. They can't rotate, they lock out, and that can also lead to a lot of accuracy problems, because QBs will do this just to get the ball there, which causes their release to be high. So how can we fix that long stride? And honestly, the best way to do it is repetition. A lot of this stuff that we're talking about, guys, we're giving you we're giving you drills to work on these specific things, and you could rep them out on your own time. So like you could literally do this drill over and over and over again until the problem's fixed and you don't got to think about it, right? So this circle cone drill is like probably my favorite drill to do to fix quarterbacks with a long stride. So you put them in your throwing base, you put only their front foot in this circle of cones. Then you set up, and we're going to show you how this should look full speed in a second, and all you do is you just throw. It's going to feel a little different with your back foot. You're probably not going to be able to drag through. If you're a drag guy, you got to pivot, make sure that your hips rotate. But all this is for is just to get us used to not taking a long step. Can't step out of the cones. For those of you guys that have that really big step, you're probably going to step on the cones a few times. So I recommend being really mindful of that front foot actually stepping. So we're going to show you how this drill should look full speed. It's a very easy drill that you guys can do. Same thing. If you're comfortable with this drill and it's working for you, you can warm up like this or do about 15 to 20 reps per workout. Now, fellas, the next reason that quarterbacks are not able to throw far is that they do not replace their feet when they're hitching up and throwing a deep ball. So this is going to be a very easy drill that you need a towel for to do. This is a warm-up drill. This is a drill that you could do in your room. This is a drill that you could literally do every day because it doesn't put any pressure on your arm. And we are solely focused on my form and my hitch on a deep ball. So let's say, for example, I'm throwing a deep fade out to the left, right? And I take a 3-step drop. A lot of QBs will hit the top of their drop like this. Now, when you hitch up where you want to be is you want to take your right foot. You don't want your feet to click together. Don't misunderstand me when I say this, you guys. A lot of people will watch me do this stuff and they'll be like, oh, you're teaching them to click their feet. I'm not. You got to keep a gap between your feet. You should keep somewhat of a base. You don't want to click your feet, but what you should essentially do is your right foot should replace where your left foot was. Feet don't click. Your right foot replaces where your left foot was. You get back to your base. Your weight is loaded on your back leg now, and you could drive, right? And that back foot could stay under you if we take care of the mechanical process that we discussed earlier in this video with staying back, hips going through before the shoulders. You got to get to that position though, and you need momentum. So replacing your feet is how we get momentum. A lot of QBs lose momentum because what they'll do is they'll hit the top of their drop and they go like this. And they don't go anywhere on their hitch. Their right foot goes under them, but they don't replace their feet, so they have no momentum. So they go 3-step drop here. And there's no momentum going towards the fade, so you're not able to drive the ball. So this drill kind of works on us replacing my feet and me getting comfortable with it. So you need a white line. If you don't have a white line, don't worry about it, but you need some type of guideline where your front foot is. So we're gonna simulate top of the drop. All you're gonna do is replace your feet 3 times, and then we're gonna throw with the towel. The reason why we use the towel is it's a way to work on repetition without worrying about the result of the ball. But the way we hold the towel works on our wrist flick and something called extension, which is where your wrist, elbow, shoulder extend to the target. If you don't extend, you won't hear a whoosh of the towel. And we'll show you what I mean by that in a sec. But you want to do about 8 to 10 reps of this before every throwing workout, or honestly, generally guys, every day if you struggle with this problem. So your right foot replaces the left, you rock your weight back, go back, replace 2, go back, replace 3, and throw right on that 3rd rep. So I'm going to show you how this should look full speed again with the towel. If you do this correctly, how you want to hold the towel is you want to make it as thin as possible, you guys. You don't want this big towel flying around everywhere. Make it as thin as possible, fold it as many times as you want, and you put your middle finger over the top of the towel, these 3 underneath. So you can be here and flick, because that's how we flick with a football. If you hold it like this, you're flicking a bad habit. We never want to throw a football with my palm facing outward. So again, how it should look. We just replace my feet. 1, go back, 2, go back, 3, and throw. I'm going to show you how it should look full speed. Easy drill to work on getting more momentum with your hitch, which can increase your deep ball distance. Oof.